Black Panther has roared onto big screens and has audiences waiting for more. A critical and commercial success, the film has made many people fans of T'Challa and the Black Panther mythology. While everyone was so taken aback by the powerful political story and the vibrant life found in Wakanda, we were keeping our eyes peeled for tiny little references we think that you might have missed.
What do you know about Wakanda?
From comic book tie-ins, MCU foreshadowing, and fun Easter eggs, here's what we caught. Seeing as this movie is a new MCU film, minor spoiler warnings ahead. Before we get started, be sure to click on that subscribe button to get all the latest content from Screen Rant every single day. Can you guess the movie based off of these emojis? Stay tuned for the end for the answer.
Everyone can please be seated. This assembly is now in session.
That is the future calling.
King T'Chaka. In Captain America: Civil War, audiences got their first look at the Black Panther on the big screen. The newly minted Panther set out on a revenge quest on the person responsible for killing his father, the former King T'Chaka, who was played by South African actor John Connie. We didn't get to see much of him in Civil War, but this influence on Wakanda and T'Challa are expanded upon in the Black Panther film. We get a few scenes with a younger T'Chaka in the film, and at first you may be forgiven in thinking that Marvel simply CGI'd a younger face onto Connie's face. It does look pretty dang similar, and considering his actions play a pivotal role in setting things in motion, it's a face that should leave an impression. But unlike Robert Downey Jr., Michael Douglas, and Kurt Russell, all of whom use CGI to appear younger in the MCU, the flashback T'Chaka was actually portrayed by John Connie's son, Atandwa Connie. Even though face-altered CGI has come a long way since the days of Benjamin Button and looks really good these days, we love that Connie's son was used instead, and gave powerful yet brief scenes.
The Black Panther has been the protector of Wakanda for generations.
What's in a name? The world isn't the same as it was back in 1966 when Black Panther first debuted, and that's for the better in many regards. But since the comic was originally written in a time where things could be sometimes painfully racist, there are some weird things that stand out when looking back. One such thing is the comic book character named Man-Ape. Yep, we're not making this one up. Man-Ape was typically portrayed to worship gorillas with his tribe and would often be found wearing white gorilla furs on his armor. But when it came time to make a live-action Black Panther film for a 2018 release date, Marvel and director Ryan Coogler knew that such a name wasn't going to fly, so it was pretty easy to scrap it. But just because the name was cut doesn't mean the character was. Yeah, Man-Ape was in the film, and he was M'Baku. We can see the similarities already, even though there were some slight alterations. M'Baku still wore the white furs on his armor, which was straight out of the comics. Early on in the film, M'Baku challenges T'Challa to the throne of Wakanda and enters the battle wearing a gorilla mask, a clear call-out to his comic book origins.
Excuse me, Miss Romanoff? Yes. Please need your
Oakland. In a surprise move, the Black Panther did not open up in Wakanda, nor did it feature the Black Panther we knew from Civil War. Instead, the action opens up in 1992 in Oakland, California, in what could only be described as a neighborhood block that has seen better days. Oakland is actually important for a few reasons. In terms of actual real-world history and to director Ryan Coogler. In terms of movie-making experience, Coogler may be young, but he's by no means a novice. His two other films garnered much acclaim, including his debut, Fruitvale Station, starring Panthers Michael B. Jordan and also set in Oakland. But even more interesting is the connection to the history of the term Black Panther. Founded in 1966 in Oakland, the Black Panther Party would become an important and divisive factor for the civil rights movement.
All the people don't have freedom, all the people don't have justice, and all the people don't have power, so that means none of us do.
So much so that Marvel actually changed the name of their comic book character Black Panther, who actually debuted a few months before the political party hit the scene. Marvel eventually decided that they shouldn't be bound by politics and switched T'Challa's name back, and the rest they say is history.
Justice will come soon enough.
With that in mind, it's a neat touch that Coogler opened the film in Oakland. He could have picked any city in the world, but clearly wanted to tie things together.
Move, or you will be moved.
Familiar turf. Killmonger is one of the more realized MCU villains to date. Fans and critics agreed that Michael B. Jordan nailed the role, giving audiences a villain with multiple layers and logical motivation to be doing the things he's doing. By the film's climax, Killmonger wants to unleash Wakandan technology on the world and essentially wipe out anyone who would persecute the weak and oppressed. To do that, he launches a series of jets into the air for specific destinations around the world for various war dogs to make use of. The orders were naturally met with some resistance or uncertainty around the globe, thanks to a quick line from Wakabi, but there were some cells that were more than up for the tasks. Interestingly though, those cells who were game were from cities known to eagle-eyed fans of the MCU. They resided in London, Hong Kong, and New York. Do those cities seem relevant to you? Fans of Doctor Strange will recognize them as the cities that house the three Earths Sanctus Sanctorum, the mystical defense that protects the planet. Is this a clever Easter egg for MCU fans, or does the Sanctum's very existence encourage challenge, to paraphrase Vision?
I'm saying there may be a causality.
Time will tell once Thanos shows up in Infinity War. Stolen Mask. We first meet the film's excellent villain, Killmonger, in London during a museum heist. The radical Wakandan American wants to return to his roots and reveal Wakanda to the world, challenging anyone who dares oppress the weak and helpless around the world. An eerie plan indeed, especially in 2018. Helping him on his crusade is of course Andy Serkis's Ulysses Klaue, who we first met back in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Want the candy?
The main goal of the heist was to steal and eventually sell a vibranium artifact to the CIA for big money, but something else caught Killmonger's eyes in the museum. While they do leave with the Wakandan weapon, Killmonger steals a mask because he's feeling it. He later uses it to break Ulysses out of CIA custody in Korea. As he does that though, he winks to the audience from behind the mask. Why? As it turns out, this mask is near enough ripped straight from the comics. While obviously not a direct match, the similarity between the MCU version and the comic book version, which debuted in Black Panther number 38 in Reginald Hudlin's series. Moonlight. Despite the huge mix-up at the Oscars, Moonlight gets to carry the respect and honor of winning Best Picture at the Oscars.
Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
A huge win for people of color a year after Oscars So White went viral. Almost a year after the award was handed out, Black Panther has roared into cinemas, a beacon of hope and inclusivity.
And it is true, it's not fake.
So why bring up Moonlight? Well, there's actually a connection between the two films, even if it's just a little one. At the end of the film, when T'Challa opens up the new programs in Oakland and reveals his technologically advanced aircraft, a young boy confronts the king on the basketball court. That boy is, of course, Alex R. Hibbert, who portrayed young Chiron. Coogler is one of many directors who praised Moonlight and found a way to tip his hat towards the film and its director, Barry Jenkins, in his own movie. So naturally, Ryan Coogler was one of those directors who showed up while he was working on the early pre-production of Black Panther. If that wasn't enough connection though, Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman is actually going to star in Jenkins' next film, Expatriate. How's that for an actor shuffle? Straight out of the comic. One of the big moments in the film was when Killmonger walked up to T'Challa and challenged him for the right to the throne. Thanks to his royal heritage, he is able to make this request, something the Black Panther obliges. The pair has a showdown on a cliffside in ritualistic combat, where the winner is determined by the death or surrender of the opponent. Needless to say, this choice of location isn't coincidental. While we get to see it earlier on in the film when M'Baku challenges T'Challa, it was merely to set up the rules for the fight against Killmonger. This particular duel is taken straight out of the comic books, specifically the Christopher Priest run. In that series, in issue 20, Black Panther and Killmonger have a ritualistic duel upon a cliffside near a waterfall, and once Killmonger is declared victor, he tosses T'Challa over the edge, seemingly killing him off. Fans of the comics will know that it's one of the most memorable moments on the page. There are some variations though. For one, CIA agent Everett Ross, played in the film by Martin Freeman, yields for T'Challa in the comics after accidentally distracting him, thus giving Killmonger the throne by default.
Unarmed combat and become the king of Wakanda!
Killmonger's gold suit. After defeating T'Challa in ritualistic combat, Killmonger is declared King of Wakanda, and thus by royal mandate and tradition, he is bestowed the power of the Black Panther and his own suit. Unlike T'Challa, who sports both his classic black suit and his new purple motif design, Killmonger's features a yellow motif and, more interestingly, a design that doesn't look that much like a panther. Thanks to some spots in the gold-yellow design of the suit, Killmonger's suit actually is more reminiscent of a leopard. and there's a comic book reason for that. On the page, specifically Jungle Fever #6, Killmonger was on the attack and unleashed his trusty sidekick, Prey. Unlike most sidekicks or aides though, Prey, with an extra Y of course, was a tamed leopard under Killmonger's control. But there's a secondary reference that ties into the leopard. Remember back when we mentioned Marvel changed the Black Panther comic name in the 60s to distance themselves from the Black Panther Party? Well, the name they chose was Black Leopard, so Killmonger's suit was definitely a mighty homage to that brief name change. Do you think Black Panther is a better name for a comic book hero, or do you like the sound of Black Leopard better? Let us know in the comments.
Given time.
That Old American Movie. One of the funniest and coolest characters in the film is T'Challa's sister, Shuri. She's something of a genius and may in fact be smarter than Tony Stark himself. She operates similarly to Q from the James Bond films, creating tech for our hero and providing guidance and aid. She's just way smarter and more hip than Q.
You finished? Yes. Good.
When giving T'Challa a peek at some of her new toys, she shows him a set of sneakers, form-fitting footwear that muffles sound and morphs to the user's foot. She then references an old American movie in passing and never brings up the comment again, which is unusual considering the amazing technology we've just seen in action. It's one of those quick, easy-to-miss lines, but if you know your movies, you'll know exactly which one Shuri was talking about. Given up yet?
Future. Unbelievable.
It's actually Back to the Future, too. In that film, Marty McFly gets a set of self-tying shoes.
Power laces, all right.
A pretty handy invention we've yet to get in the real world. But Shuri's shoes, which self-assemble around T'Challa's feet from nothing but the base, definitely echo those nifty shoes that Marty got. Good to know they get Hollywood movies in Wakanda.
I didn't kill your father.
Then why did you run?
The White Wolf. You'd be surprised how many people leave during the credits of a Marvel film, as if they had no idea that there are 2 after-credit scenes in 2018. While the first scene was a message of hope and inclusivity aimed at the film's UN as much as it was for the audience in the cinema, the follow-up scene brought up many MCU and comic book questions. In it, we see some children looking at a person, who is revealed to be none other than Bucky Barnes, formerly known as the Winter Soldier. At the end of Civil War, in that film's after-credits scene, he was put on ice for fear of going rogue again and hurting people and wanted out of the picture until a cure could be found. Well, thanks to a Marvel Prelude comic, or some connecting the dots if you haven't read it, you'll figure out that Shuri did indeed cure Barnes. Furthermore, Barnes is referred to as the White Wolf. While the Winter Soldier is never the White Wolf, the Black Panther had an ally and adoptive brother in the comics, a Caucasian named Hunter, who eventually went by the name White Wolf and was considered one of T'Challa's most trusted allies. Potential foreshadowing for things to come? Fun fact, Shuri alludes to Barnes' treatment early in the film, when she casually mentions having to treat another broken white boy. And that's it for now. What did you think of Black Panther? Do you think Killmonger could be the best MCU villain to date, or does that honor still belong to Loki? Which Easter egg or reference did you catch during your first viewing of the film? What role will Wakanda play in Infinity War? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to Screen Rant for more awesome videos like this one added to your playlist every day. Thanks for watching.